Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's been a real interesting last few days here. Today, just wanted to spend a little bit of time. We're going to show off some of the animals that don't get a whole lot of screen time. And yeah, we had feeding day today, so there's a lot of them that are kind of down for the count right now. And we're going to go back and look at the Tegu a little bit, see how he's doing. Maybe answer a couple comments and stuff, just kind of chit chat a little bit today. So kick back, enjoy the intro, and we'll be right back on Intrepid Exotics. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. So for those of you guys that follow us a lot, you know that we typically do our live streams on Saturday nights. I was down for the count pretty much ever since Thursday, but man, Saturday, it just killed me. I wear contact lenses, so every now and then I'll get eye infections. Could not hardly open up my eyes yesterday, so unfortunately I had to cancel the live stream and the Zoom call for the Patreon folks last night. So wanted to at least get something out here this week. So here we are, and I think we're going to take out our little carpet python over here. He's our jungle carpet. His name is Snoop. And he's really one of my favorite snakes. And you can kind of see why. Come on, bud. You had it right the first time. Come on out. You see, I tell you, this is one of the things that I really love about keeping a small collection. Is that, you know, you can work with these animals enough to where they get real easy to work with. Now, one thing about this guy, of course, you know, these carpets are arboreal snakes and they'll get kind of a bad reputation sometimes. But one thing that I talk about when we're handling the green tree python is how nice it is to have those removable perches in there for him. We do not have removable perches for this guy. And they love to wrap their tail around anything they can. So it always takes a little bit of extra effort. It is just amazing how quickly, without seeing anything, they can find something to get that tail wrapped around. Come on, bud. You're doing good. There we go. And again, of course, for those of you guys that see a lot of videos that I do down here, we keep it pretty warm down here in the reptile room, so I've got the fan off so it doesn't mess up the audio. So I'm going to sit down here and sweat for a little while. But here's a Snoop. He's a little jungle carpet. And one thing you'll notice about him that's a little unique is he's kind of got coastal colorings almost. A lot of the jungle carpets that you see have got a lot brighter yellows on them. And this guy doesn't have that. He's got a lot more subdued color to him. But he actually came to us from a family that was relocating. They couldn't take him with. It was the only snake that they had. And they'd done a really good job handling him. The one thing about this guy, I've never once had him take a swing at me. You know, of course, every now and then he'll get pretty overzealous about a meal or something. But he's just really well socialized. Such a good snake. And it kind of surprises people too. You know, with him and the green tree up there, a lot of folks are really kind of surprised about how handleable they are. And actually I had somebody in the comment, you know, the green tree that we've got up there is an Aru. It's an Aru locality. Had somebody mention, yeah, well, Arus are docile. If you had a biak in your hands there, he'd be biting you. Well, yes and no. I mean, certain localities are known for being a little bit more, I guess, defensive, reactive than some, but it really has a lot to do with how they're handled. I mean, you can take just about any snake and get it socialized, get it used to working with people to the point where it's not going to just be an absolute killer. So one of the things that I want to do is I do have a couple friends out here, I think, that have got some emerald tree boas, some different green tree pythons and so forth. So we may end up setting up some time this summer to go out and, yeah, and do some handling with them. Just to kind of show that it can be done. It's one of the things that tends to happen a lot is, you know, I'll have somebody contact me and say, hey man, I've got this lizard, or I've got this snake that's just really bitey and really wants to go after everybody. And I get hold of it. The only one that's really proven true with was the Sri Lankan. And if you guys hadn't seen the series on the Sri Lankan, it's really a lot of fun. I recorded all 10 handling sessions with him, and that's how many it took to get him calmed down to where he wasn't biting anymore. But yeah, he was a stone cold killer out the box, man. Very first time I handled him, bit me like 10, 15 times. But now, guy's just best little snake you could ever ask for. And of course, he's upstairs and had eaten, so he's going to be out of the loop for a little while. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite boys. Go ahead and put you back for a little while. There you go. You can see he's in another one of these cabinet type enclosures, the same way that Chloe is upstairs. Chloe is our little rescue female reticulated python. But I do want to take just a second here to sit down with this guy, who is kind of coming around, kind of not. He's still a little grumpy. Still a little grumpy guy. I think his name needs to be Gus. We'll call him Grumpy Gus. But he has eaten today. He ate really well. Had a bunch of greens, had some berries and stuff. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Come on, bud. There you go. Well, he's chilled out a little bit. Let me scratch him. Here comes the teeth. You're okay, bud. You're okay, buddy. But since he's just eaten today, I'm not going to take him out and take him over into the other enclosure. I came through here and cleaned everybody today. So, man, it's one of the things that is so great about having Nile's enclosure set up the way it is, where I can just close that door down, close that area off, move the big snakes over into it, and let them run around and play. And you know, it's really weird when you watch these guys, because they get into that space and they'll run around for a couple minutes, and then they just, pretty much all of them find the same spot in there, just curl up and relax. Like this is one who got over for some playtime. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, sweetie. Come on. Oh, come on, you can make an appearance. Can't ya? This is Monty. She's our female mainland. And she's another one. She got in there and roamed around for a little while and then just kind of decided she didn't want anything to do with it. And of course, she didn't eat today. I don't feed these guys as frequently as I do the smaller snakes. As they get bigger, you know, their metabolism changes and so forth. And you'll see a lot of people that'll just slam food down these big snakes, trying to get them bigger. And it's really not good for them. You know, they've already got the disadvantage of not being able to be completely as active as they would normally. But, you know, we counter that with taking them out and interacting with them and letting them, you know, letting them get into the playpen and so forth. But I feed these guys typically every 2 to 4 weeks. It depends on how they're doing. But I've had this girl since she was a baby. I mean, we're talking like she was 4 feet long, maybe. Yeah, she's just turned into such an awesome animal to work with. I've had her out to educational events, and she's had 4 or 5 kids on her, all playing around and stuff like that. But God, she is getting heavy. It's amazing, man. And then, you know, it wasn't so much with her, but my male, when I was taking him out earlier, it always blows my mind. He's a little bit thicker than she is, oddly enough, because males tend to really, you tend to see a lot of males that are a lot smaller than the females, but he is right up there with her. And God, it always blows my mind how hard they can hang on to absolutely nothing. I played Al getting him put back away. Yeah, she's a good girl, ain't ya? Such an interactive animal too. And as of course, you know, with the warmer weather coming, we're going to have her outside a lot more. Have everybody outside a lot more. This is the best time of year for these guys, because they get out, they get a lot of exercise, they get a lot of natural sunlight. You really see them perk up in the summers. You know, over the winter time when it's cold outside, we still work with them, still get them out and stuff like that. But they really thrive in the summer. And this right here, I'm not going to take him out and handle him because he's one that just ate. But I am going to show him to you guys. He'll probably come out a little bit. This is a unique animal here. This is one that he's a marble platinum male retic, and he was really spunky today before I fed him. Really spunky, tail whipping, bumping me really hard and stuff like that. And I kind of keep an eye on him still. He's fairly new to me. Actually came from Jeremy Turgeon. And he's like, hey man, I got one for you. This guy's kind of unpredictable sometimes. He might be really good to film with. And he's right. This guy has got, this is one of the things that you guys will notice, man. And it came up in one of the groups earlier today. Somebody was saying, you know, their younger retic was peeing on him every time he pulled him out of the enclosure, and asked if that was normal. Well, these guys, each one of these different snakes has got such different personalities. They're really easily discernible when you work with them for a little while. You're just such a pretty boy. And it really is amazing when you watch them for a while. Like him, he's really, I guess you say domineering. He's got that really domineering personality where he's going to interact on his own terms, and he's not tried to bite me yet. But when you look at him when you're first going in, a lot of times he'll throw off those vibes like, okay, you need to leave me alone. But once you get him out, he tends to do pretty good. They're right. He had a big old rabbit tonight, so you still got to finish setting your jaw back. Don't ya? You're such a good boy. Hey, close the door. And one thing that's really unique about this animal too, I'm not sure what it is. He's got something weird going on with his tongue. I don't know whether he licked a heat bulb or what, but he's got little, right where the forks come together, it looks like, I mean, there's a little bit of discoloration here, and it looks like the forks of his tongue. See, look at that. It looks like the forks of his tongue are a little bit narrower than most. And he's just got this really weird way of hanging it out there and down like that. It's just a little bit different from the other snakes. And like I say, you know, when it's a little bit different, I always pay closer attention to him, kind of be a little bit more careful about how I interact with him and stuff like that. Now, I really don't think I got to worry about him taking a shot at me. But like I said, he's got a little bit of a different personality, and he does really good. I know one snake that just about nobody sees is the ball python. You're probably going to catch a bunch of the light here. But this little female, I've had her forever. She's sitting there in her hide right now. You want to come out? You want to come out and say hi? Come on, girl. Come on. There you go. This is my little female ball. And she doesn't get any screen time at all. She comes and she hangs out with me a lot when I'm down here. No idea how old she is. She's just a normal. But she's, again, one of the sweetest animals you can ever ask for. Isn't that right? He's all chilled out in your hide and I came in and disturbed you. You want to look over there? Look over there and say hi. I'm sure a lot of you guys see a lot of these ball pythons because there's a ton of ball python breeders out there. And you pretty much can't turn on YouTube with any kind of reptiles involved and not see people showing 50, 100 different ball python morphs on there. These are really popular. Really popular with the folks to breed because they don't get very big. You know, if you have a clutch of mainland retics or something like that, and if you can't find good homes for them pretty quick, you've got a lot of feeding to do. You got a lot of big snakes to take care of. Ball pythons, like I said, this is an older female. So, they may get a little bit bigger than this, but this is pretty standard. Now, one thing you'll hear too, a lot with the balls is that, a lot of people recommend them as beginner snakes. And they're great beginner snakes because, they're generally pretty docile. You don't have too much to worry about. But they can be really picky eaters. All the time you have people, contacting us saying, I've got this ball python. It hasn't eaten for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks or something. And these guys can be really picky. Sometimes it's a type of prey item that they get that they're really particular about. Sometimes they just decide they don't want to eat for a while. So, ain't that right? Just like you hadn't eaten for a couple weeks. Just keep looking at me saying, nah. But she's a super sweet girl. Here. You go back in your hide. I know that's where you want to be. And I'll go ahead and pull out our little male ball python too. He's, of course, chilling out in his hide. He was hanging out in his water bowl earlier. But now, he's in his hide. How you doing, bud? Oh yeah, he ate today, so maybe I shouldn't mess with him too much. Let me see. Let me see what you're looking like. Oh, sorry, bud. Didn't mean to spook you. Now, he did eat today, and, typically it's a good idea to leave them alone after they've eaten. If you do pick them up for any reason after they've eaten, you just want to make sure that you're really not letting their heads or, the top part of their body really dangle below the rest of them. Yeah, because he's got that food bump right now. And as long as he's not doing too much athletic stuff and you're not like hanging their head down below their food item, because you don't want to give them indigestion. This is my little male ghost. Another perfectly sweet animal. Had him forever. Looks like you're trying to shed here pretty soon too. But these are the only 2 ball pythons I have. We did have more There was a time a few years back where I just decided it was time to thin the herd a little bit. So the two ball pythons that I rehomed were a banana spider and a pied. So I know it probably sounds weird to rehome the more unique animals and keep the normals or the close to normals. But one thing about me is I've never kept snakes for the morphs. You know, I've never actively sought out any kind of a specific color or pattern or anything with them. Almost all of the animals that I've got here are here simply because they needed another home. Like Monty, you know, there was somebody who I was browsing around on, I think it was on Marketplace, and it was like, oh, this snake needs a new home. It was in an aquarium about the size of this, and she, like I said, she was about 4 feet long, and I think the guy just realized that the snake was going to get too big for him. So I went and picked her up, brought her home, and the rest is history. She's been having a ball ever since here, and that's the same case with just about all of them. So that's one of the things I've never really done, is devoted a whole lot of mental real estate to genetics and morphs. And you can get some people that can look at a ball python and tell you which 15 hets it has and all this other stuff. And anytime somebody asks me, I'm like, okay, well, I know this person that I can direct you to. Because I'm really more in it for the interaction. I don't breed. Maybe down the road, as we expand, if I decide to start breeding, of course, I'm going to have to get a little bit more well-versed in it. I got some really great resources and some great folks that I can piggyback off their knowledge and help with that. But right now, I'm just really not interested in it. I mean, I find out what genetics the animals are that I've got. Outside of that, that's about all I do. But another one that doesn't get seen very often. Well, it's lights out for you guys. This Burmese over here, Apollo. I think you guys might be able to see this. Come on. Come on. Hi. I got you. This snake is just another one that is an absolute puppy dog. He was absolutely drenched because he just came out of his water bowl. But he's one that just about every time that I open the enclosure to take him out, I've got to go through the whole disclaimer of, this is a bigger snake. You don't want to get into the habit of taking your animals out without a snake hook available. If you look at any other snake that's riding the glass like that and looks kind of high energy, and you just stick your hand up there, then there's a really high likelihood of getting bit. This animal, another one, this is one that I'd taken in that he was really in pretty bad shape when I got him. Man, covered in mites, completely dirty. He was much smaller than he is now. Actually, if you can see it, he came to me in this white 4-foot PVC. Of course, now he's in the 8-foot enclosure back there. But this is kind of typical Burmese. My female Burm upstairs, she's a baby. She's maybe just over 4 feet long. But she's another one where as soon as I open up the glass, she's already there and already trying to climb out on me. But these guys, a lot of times, for people that are looking for bigger snakes, Burms can be really, really easy to work with. They're a lot easier to keep up with outside. When I take him outside and let him run around, every now and then he'll really get a burst of energy and want to take off. But for the most part, he finds a spot, starts moving towards the shade, and that's where he hangs out at. But he's one of our favorite boys. They're all my favorite boys. People ask you, what's your favorite snake? And it's like whichever one's in my hand at that given time. You're all wet, bud. We're going to put you back. There you go, bud. There go on my leg. You know what? Let me see if Niles wants to do anything. He just ate today, so he might be in a food coma. You know what? I'm just going to bring the camera over here. Okay. Those of you guys that keep up with Niles. This is him. How you doing, buddy? Like I said, you just had a big meal today. Hey. What you doing, man? One of my favorites right here, of course. Of course, I'm not always his favorite. What'd you do? He must have got his tongue through there and licked the light bulb or something. Hey. What you doing, man? Come here. What are you doing? You gonna come hang out? Those of you guys that don't know, this guy, he's a Nile monitor. And these guys are known for being a little cantankerous sometimes. But he does pretty good now. We've had our disagreements in the past, but whoa. Easy, bud. You got to watch them. One thing with these monitor lizards, man, is that they are really, really reactive a lot of times. And they may not have any ill will towards you, but they can be really, really reactive. Ain't that right, bud? What are you doing? You not want me getting that shed off your leg? There you go. Like I say, he's just eating. He wants to be kind of left alone. So anyway, there's kind of a quick tour of a lot of the different animals that you don't get to see very often. I do know one thing that I've been meaning to do, and I forget every video to make mention of USARK. It's something that's really important for the reptile community to, if you're not already aware of. I know we talk about it during the live streams every Saturday, but the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, they're really successful in preventing and catching and preventing bad laws from getting passed, animal bans and things of that nature. So definitely a great organization to keep up with. I've always got their page linked down in the description of all the videos. And I want to go ahead and start putting together kind of a new intro on the channel, kind of keeping with the same theme. I want to kind of shorten it down a little bit and then add something for USARK in all of them, just so that it's there all the time and I don't have to get lost in a train of thought and then forget to mention it. So we'll start working on that too. And we're going to, here in the next couple days, if everything goes well, he's in there digging right now, but we're going to get the Tegu out in the playpen area. We're going to sit in there with him, see how he does, see if we can't, yeah, it's kind of late here right now, so they're all kind of settling in for the night. This is his time to crawl into his tub and go to sleep. Tegu, of course, is going to go over there and crash. Everybody else is like, dude, turn the lights off and get out of here. So I'm going to turn the lights off and get out of here. And we will go ahead and get something else put out this week, probably with the Tegu. Doing a little bit further socializing stuff with him. But hey, jump on, get subscribed to the channel, get down in the comments, let me know if there's anything else you want to see. And we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.